Wonderful to see you all today. It's fantastic to have so many of you here. We're enabling you to empower your people to create coaching cultures. And the idea of today is so that you leave understanding fully what coaching is, the impact it can have for leaders, teams, whole organizations, and even beyond that, and some top tips and tools that you can run with from the get-go. And so, just bring my slides up. Now, some who've registered don't know us, and I know some of you here have known us for many years. So what we'll do to start with is just one or two slides, and I am going fast on this so that I don't bore the ones that do know us, just so you get a feel of who we are. And I'd like to also introduce Sarah Davies, who's on the call here today. And she's part of our business development team. And lovely to have you here, Sarah. And we've also got Pavlina and Lawrence here, who are people who deliver for us. We've known them many years. In fact, Lawrence, I think it's about 15 years now we've known, maybe longer actually. And it's delivery in person and of course online. So who are we? We're a global team and we get together for large projects. We do coach training and leadership development. And we also work internally with organizations as well, empowering their people. We have a portfolio of numerous organizations across sectors globally, and we're very proud to say we've won a number of global awards, including from ICF, the International Coach Federation. And in a nutshell, we're about accredited coach training from different professional bodies, leadership development, psychometric profile, including 360s, facilitation. We're getting a lot of work in health and well-being now with organizations, of course, executive team and board coaching, and sometimes projects. For example, it was Bahrain Airport, things like activating values. So anything on the soft skills side to enable people to connect with the organization and move things forward together. This is the framework that we use, mapped to the UK qualification framework for the steps towards coaching mastery. And yes, I'm going fast on these slides, but rest assured you'll get them all after the session so you can digest them in more detail. This is the health and wellness work we do for organizations. So things like executive functions, time management, people management, improving memory, organization elements. These are things that we're seeing organizations wishing to tap in even more, especially for managers and directors. And then, of course, the side of the finance and the project management, we do a little bit of work on that. And yet it's enabling the teams to work at their best. So we're enabling business agile. We work in an experiential way, a number of teachers and lecturers in the team. So, learning is close to our heart, and we work in ways that it's not loads of slides and lectures. It really is experiential learning, contextually based, enabling people to connect with their pressure points, unpack them, create roadmaps to solutions. And then, of course, coaching is the glue to moving that forward to create impact. And we partner with numerous universities and organizations, and everything goes in our learning management system. So you have everything in place for tracking your progress and recapping and following the assessment criteria for those types of programs. Just a few of the pictures of the in-person program. We've got Oman there, we've got Palestine there, we've got the UK, we've got Saudi Arabia, and also one project there in the US. And we really feel that with the global team, of course, global experience, and yet so many of us have lived on the ground in numerous countries. The local cultural contextual content for case studies and making sure that things are bespoke and relevant to specific organizations is something that we feel we do really well. And the creative approaches with Lego and interactive fun activities for learning, and also image cards, whether it's online or in person. These are all things that people comment that they like the work we do because it's engaging. And so, numerous commendations from global organizations such as Lego, and we are into the content. And so, what's the difference in summary between consulting, which is top down, we have the solution, we will provide you with what fits for your context, and then you will, maybe have support from us in operationalizing it. And mentoring, which is all about we've been there, we've done that, we've got the experience, and we will work with you holding your hand through it. Whereas coaching is, what do you need to focus on in your time scale to enable your people to tap into their strengths, to solve problems and work together and create what's possible. So coaching is a partnership, it's empowering, it's enabling, and it's sustaining the long-term knowledge sharing organizations as well. So this person needs to experiment and come up with solutions together. And what we have here is just numerous ways where organizations use coaching. Everyone knows that most organizations tend to start with one-on-one, usually external coaches coming into the organization with the senior teams. That's the sort of traditional way coaching gets introduced. And of course, there's team coaching, for example, working with the marketing team or the procurement team or the senior leadership team or the board. Then there's group coaching. One example being a bank we worked with, people from different departments solving something together. And then there's work on the business side or strategy. Retrospectives in project management fit really well with a coaching approach, and innovation and creativity by enabling people to think of solutions together, to create solutions that are out of the box and come up with many different ways to empower their people. And so a coaching culture, yes, that took a while to come up with all those C's actually. A coaching culture does all of these things. It increases the collaboration. That's one of the biggest things we find. You can have someone who's trained in coaching as a leader in this part of the organization who coaches someone over here in a different part of the organization. And even things like naive questioning can really support someone deepening their understanding and enabling to put their plans into action. It improves knowledge share. It can support customer centricity. It can help cut costs. And isn't that one of the things, less time, less costs, less resources, all of these things, coaching can enable people to work in synergy. And so the program that we provide enable leaders to coach teams and groups to work together as peers, of course, one-on-one for things like performance management and so forth. But something that people miss is actually that coaching is also top down, bottom up, where people young out of university may be coaching someone more senior in organizations, and it's across the middle. Now, research over the last 20 years shows that the majority of the Fortune 500s have external coaches, but are also growing internal coaching capacity. Number one, both work together really well. Number two, growing internal capacity to support things like succession planning, and also it can reduce cost. Number three, when leaders coach, that approach, that style trickles down and beyond to different divisions, departments in the organization, and that's how we move to a coaching culture. So have a think for a second, and you're very welcome to write in the chat as well, or even take yourself off mute. As a leader, what's keeping you awake at night? What are your pressure points? What are you avoiding? What is it that if it's not addressed now, it's going to get even worse down the line? A problem at work, thinking how to solve it, we've got in the chat. Unclear communication. Yeah, clarity is such an important thing. Sometimes we work one-on-one with people in organizations coaching, and they say, my objectives are not clear. Imagine getting into a car and saying, I'll get to my destination, but I'm not really sure where it is. Setting people up to fail. Yeah, unfinished tasks. The number of things we have to manage in a day. AI, absolutely, Lawrence. What ways can we stay abreast of what's changing so fast? And then there's the ethics and all the other things to do around that type of issue as well. So a few that we come across regularly. Misaligned expectations is one of the big ones there. When change is needed and people are not aligned to change, or change is not communicated effectively across the organization, or there's rumors as opposed to clarity. Because if leaders don't know, actually sharing that vulnerability is more important than silence. We're not sure now, and as soon as things are clearer, we will let you know. That message is actually even more important. Communication barriers, lack of trust and psychological safety, not tapping into the full talent pool in the organization, and feedback not being enough, not being clear enough, being sporadic or ineffective. Sometimes we find leaders who need to grow in confidence to really give feedback that's open, honest, transparent, and direct. We call it clean. Clean feedback means people know what they need to do, by when, and how much freedom they've got in terms of working on their objectives. Just a few more. We've mentioned the cyber and the ethics, keeping customers, especially with increased competitiveness, the economy, and so many global things that are heavy on so many leaders' shoulders right now. And sometimes group coaching especially, and the way to facilitate that process can enable leaders to get together and to unpack things for the common good. Now, sometimes people describe coaching as, I have so many thoughts in my mind, so many pressures, so many things I need to work on. And coaching enables me to unravel things and put things in priority and chunk things together so that things feel manageable. And actually, if coaching only does that, that is powerful in itself. And so, why is it useful for your leaders in your organizations to coach? What are the benefits of coaching? So just some of the benefits here. Here was a team we were working with in an NGO. And so it increases transparency. We've talked about communication, engagement improves. People understand things deeper. But more than that, they understand things from different perspectives. So when there's setbacks or dependencies, when there's blockages, when people are coached around it and they understand what's going on for another department or an external organization, such as a regulatory authority that needs to be worked with, or a ministry, things are clearer and more manageable. It reduces toxicity. People actually say that relationships improve. It also enables individuals to understand where their strengths and developments lie, because they get to know themselves even more. They get to understand how others find them in terms of their skills, knowledge, and behaviors. And so the open area increases so that they and their team really understand the ways that they work at their most effective. And one way we do this with whole teams together, we enable leaders to understand how each individual person in their team operates. So, for example, I'm looking at Sarah there on the screen, actually, and she's an innovator, she's a strong relator. And then Pavlina's there second on the screen for me. She's a supporter, she's an optimist, and my goodness, she's a finisher. And then Lawrence is an analyst. You can chat to him about things, and he's a deep thinker. He's also a striver, an asserter, and a supporter. And so when you look at this wheel and the leaders of the team plot with the whole team, and even live 360, how are we as a team together? You can see where the whole team have strengths. And if you're hiring, where the gaps are. But you can also see, if you're not hiring, what do we as a team need to step into to make our team balanced? So all of these activities are things that we enable you to use with your teams. And then another very big area that we mentioned earlier, we cannot read all of these in the time we've got, but when there's psychological safety, people talk about difficult conversations. Things are not avoided. People handle things head on, and it increases resilience and it reduces fear. And this has been proven over times across different projects. And creativity and growth and also well-being are improved as well. People actually talk differently about organizations they work in when there is psychological safety. And then we've also got, oh, the slide wouldn't go on there. This as a checklist for you as a leader to increase psychological safety. Are you listening? Do you allow and enable your people to have the space and the time to disagree with you? How much trust is there? What ways are you checking in to ask what support your people need? Are you encouraging views from many different perspectives? Do you thank people for their honesty, even when it's a message you really don't want to hear? Do you ask what they need in terms of resources, further support, maybe even training or work shadowing for them to succeed? Is there space for people to take risks? And when things go wrong, you mop things up together. Do you have retrospectives where together you can learn from mistakes? Does everybody have a chance to speak? And as I said, you'll have these slides so you can maybe even reflect on those even more. So here's some competencies of leaders who coach. You might want to have a look at this yourself. Zeros in the middle, tens around the edge. Where are you in terms of these competencies right now? You might want to date it and then over time see how things have changed when you've consciously chosen to focus on some of these areas. What way do you remain neutral and in partnership with those that you coach to allow them to feel psychological safety? What way do you maintain relationships with your people? What ways do you listen and listen way beyond words to the energy and the tone and the pitch that people are talking? And what way do you ask powerful, open-ended questions so that you don't lead the answers of your people? And how confident are you in coaching up? How confident are you in asking questions to the CEO to enable them to think at a deeper level as well? And so a little bit more on listening. Many different parts of the program that we bring listening in because it's a cyclical curriculum where we go deeper each time we touch these topics. And of course, we can't bring everything into this conversation today. So in short, I invite you to consider internal listening. And honestly, we've had C-suite executives attend our programs and they've said this piece alone has positively transformed their relationships, not just work relationships and networking, but also relationships with, for example, teenage children, marital relationships, because they understand how to listen at a deeper level. So level 1, if you wish to join in with the actions, you're very welcome to do that as well. Level 1 is here. It's internal listening. It's how long's Claire going to be there with her hands next to her head? Or, oh, I must make that call later. Or listening to someone's answer and articulating your own question to then go back over to them. So internal listening, it's not wrong. We need to do it. We consider our own perspectives. And what's even more powerful is this type of listening, which is over there. It's hard focus. I can see Yusuf on the screen and I'm thinking, and what's going on for Yusuf right now? And someone was nodding before and I'm over there with them. Clearly something that's been said, they're connecting with. So hard focus is the next level. And then finally, holistic listening. And holistic listening, I can see Rihan on the screen. And it's when people are tapping into the energy in the room, in the meeting room, or the the conference room. It's when you're coaching someone and you're really tapping into what's not being said, the body language. Someone moves like this, they're going to a deeper level of thinking. What's going on for you right now? That type of question taps in way beyond words. And it's knowing when to move on and when to stay even longer, even when things might be tricky. So internal, hard focus, and holistic. Have a think about yourself. Have a think this week. How much are you here? And this can also be a no but as well, which is what we try and avoid when we're coaching. How much are you here? Trying to understand from others' perspectives. We know the phrase, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen first. The headphones there remind me of that. And then how much are you tapping into the energy in the room and consciously choosing as a leader what's needed in that moment, and sometimes shifting the energy to liven things up, and sometimes staying with the energy to go even deeper. And of course, everything we share, it all comes from theory, and you've got that in a little bit more detail, levels 1, 2, and 3 of listening, to have a look at later. Taking this even further, systemic coaching, which is something we feel is extremely important for leaders, is focusing on the wider system. So the coaching is not just for the leader, if it's one-on-one executive coaching. The coaching is asking questions such as, what do your team need you to be coached on today? What does the organization need you to be coached on today? What do your clients need you to focus on? What's happening in your field, be it oil and gas or the financial sector or hospitality or health? What's happening in your field, and what ways is your organization and the work that you're doing mirroring what's going on out there? This can support things like benchmarking and staying abreast of the bigger picture. So a systemic focus is extremely important, and it really gives a shift to any leadership conversation. Imagine teams that are really considering, what is it we need to focus on to do our work better together in service of our stakeholders? What a different conversation that brings. And of course, people talk about results, clarity on results, imperative, and people talk about performance. We enable leaders to understand that, yes, performance, and what's even more important is impact. Because people can perform. If that treadmill's going backwards or going the wrong way and they stay still there, it's not having any impact. So conversations around what's the impact of the work you've been doing over this last week since we met, that type of conversation is even more powerful. So performance, light touch. Have conversations around the impacts that's needed and the way to get there together. And so those bits are just parts of our model. It's an award-winning model. We've done a lot of research on it. And one thing this model has in it that others don't is celebration. Celebrating together the small steps and the big wins. And it also has in there uniquely transition planning. So we create plans together, but we also address things like coping with setbacks and dependencies, because that, I'm sure you'll agree, is real life. The best laid plans, we need to work so many times iteratively because things come in. Just think of COVID, and that landed on our doorsteps, and the way we all had to change in so many ways. So coping with setbacks and dependencies, even proactively, means that people are top of their game. Another thing we feel is extremely important, and all the top business schools advocate this as well, reflective practice. And when leaders encourage their people to reflect on what they're doing it, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, if they're doing the right thing, and what else can enable them to do it even more effectively, that gets even more impact. So there's many different approaches to reflective practice. This is just one model, and I'll be sending you the link afterwards as well in the follow-up email from this conversation. We have some information leaflets, including one on this model as a way that you can use it. So it unpacks it as a process, and it's a brilliant thing to use for yourself for reflection, but it's also so useful when you're coaching your people to enable them to reflect as well. And a really simple one that sounds even almost blasé. What is the issue? What is the problem? Or even maybe what are we doing well? Because coaching isn't always in the mud. Quite often we have coaching when things are going well. And how can we get even more of that energy in the team? So what? The next bit is so what? So what if it continues this way? So what way can we make sense of this? So what if it stays where it is right now? And then now what? What's next? Where are we going to use this information and this experience and tap into that knowledge to be able to positively impact our future practice? And that is so important. Now, I'm going to take a pause here. This was a reflective space for senior leaders in Bahrain on this particular occasion. And I'm going to pause just to see if anyone has any questions, any comments at this point. Absolutely, Rehan. Strong psychological safety, the foundations of any organization. Absolutely. And here's just one example of the way that reflection works in real life in organizations. So reflection can be through a stimulus like the model, which makes it more structured and more useful to people in coaching sessions and in meetings. And reflecting together takes it to an even more powerful level. And ensuring that there's continuous improvement from that reflection. There's an action plan. There's someone who is in charge of that work moving forward. And what was the impact of this particular reflection? Improved decision making, hearing all voices, reduce silos, sharing knowledge together, as opposed to pockets of people or departments having that knowledge, and deeper understanding. And so we mentioned before, leaders are the cog in the middle of the organization and at the top. And so coaching can be top down, bottom up, across the middle, in teams, with groups from different parts of the organization. And when there's a true coaching culture, it's from the initial hiring conversations and the onboarding through the talent life cycle, all the way to exit interviews. And your clients, bottom right, they know that you coach because they experience it. They feel it as well. You can even use coaching in pitches. We get more and more consultants coming to us, asking us to train them in coaching competencies. This is a process that organizations can work through, starting with, as I mentioned, external coaches, moving all the way to developing your people to coach, all the way to this is the way we do things around here. And everyone experiences it. And it's part of leadership development. And so the solutions for handling difficult conversations, for leveraging skills, knowledge, and behaviors of the way we can work more powerfully, questioning, listening, championing, and motivating, and of course, increasing resilience. It makes high impact teams. People are clear on their roles, they lean in to support each other's, and it shapes the culture of organizations. It's also extremely useful in terms of productivity. People get motivated when coaching is around them because there's an energy that we're in this together. And that type of feeling, that camaraderie, even in really difficult times, gets people to support each other. Performance conversations, just a few of the many different ways that leaders can use coaching questions. What do you need to work on? Who or what can support you? What can you learn from your recent work? What are the dependencies you're working with? What way can I enable you to do your job role even more effectively? And it's all about the confidence to give really clear, honest feedback, no matter who's giving it. And it's about tapping into the right time to do it so that the feedback will be effective. Ever walked into someone's office and you just get that feeling there's a little bit of stress? It's not the right time. And yet sometimes people are not tapping into what's going on, that level 3 energy. So timing is just so important as well. It's about planning, monitoring, developing. How are things going? Where are you right now? Reviewing formally and informally. And then, of course, rewards. And if we have, Jim Collins said this so many years ago, the right people in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, we will succeed. We mentioned health before, and just a few of these. We're all becoming more aware of neurodivergence and the way that we as leaders can support people who have different ways of learning, ways of thinking, ways to do their work. And so that's so important as well. And we include this in our programs so that we can help everyone in our organization, not just those that are similar to us. And the middle one in the circle, we know, we've heard from organizations that we've partnered with over years that retention increases, and we know that's a cost if it doesn't. Retention increases when people coach. Such an important thing. And so many ways that business functions, every business function can benefit from people coaching. It's increasing consciousness. It's even getting together to ask each other challenging questions, to make the best proposals we can, improving sales, being non-judgmental and non-attached to our particular point of view or outcome. It's tapping into diversity of many different things, be it age, gender, and perspectives. And so, just for a moment, have a look at this image. Metaphorically, where is your organization in terms of their journey in creating a coaching culture? Where are you as a leader in terms of how much you tap into coaching your people? So one example of this is maybe I'm there just walking into this theme park. We can see what's on the horizon. We can see the way this work will impact our organization. We've not quite got on the journey. We're not quite there on the ride. There's just one example. Would anyone like to come off mute or type in the chat and share, where are you as a leader in terms of coaching your people, or where's your organization? Anyone like to share? There's some people still coming onto the call. Rihan, thank you.
Hello, everyone. So, as a leader, I feel I'm walking into the right. My organization, I think uh, it is the one that is not built yet. We can see the horizon together. We established something, but we are still building. And then we will get on the ride, maybe in a few months from now. But what really captured my attention, the balloons in the horizon. And I think this is what we are seeing right now, and this is where we want to reach in the future. Thank you.
Oh, I love that you brought in the future perspective as well. Thank you so much. And we've got Lawrence there, the balloon guy floating on the left, a bit up and down in the air. Absolutely. And Pavlina enjoying the ride, because there's such an adventure. So this, we call this a metaphorical landscape. And it's something that you can choose any landscape. There's a million of there on Google, and you can work with this with your team. Where are we on this particular project? What are you personally experiencing in terms of progress on this project? And it brings in all perspectives, and everyone then, just from that example alone, understands what's happening for other members of the team. And if you are a fly in the wall in an organization that coaches, you look for opportunities to coach, you support others, and you provide clear feedback, there is less toxicity and more support, and results are delivered. So one of our flagship programs is Leader of Coach, which is, depending on the number of hours in a day, it's between 3, 4, 5 days, and in 3 phases: the initial assessments and where are we now, the in-person work. We do love to do this program in person, although it can be done online as well. And then it's the follow-ups, and enabling you to have some coaching from our experienced team, and also to embed the learning over time into your work. And the benefits of this program, people who've attended have shared a number of things. And actually, we've got a few people on the call today who have attended our programs. And if anyone would like to speak, I invite you now to share what you've experienced from our work and the way it's impacted you personally and the way it's impacted the organisation that you've worked in. Would anyone like to share? Lawrence.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I've worked closely with Claire for the last 15 years, I would say, watched the girls grow up as mine grew up from our time together in Bahrain. And then I moved across to Aramco as Director of Learning. But I've still kept in weekly touch with Claire regularly all the time because that last course we did, Claire, at the end of last year, the team coaching, I said to you at the time, I said, that course helped me in every which way with my corporate coaching with teams because everything that was discussed by everybody in the entire course was relevant to me. And I had lived that authentic self. I had lived that anecdote. And you helped me so much. I think I wrote to you afterwards and said, of all I've done with you in 15 years, that blew my mind. And that's why I'm here today, was because it does what we do and what you do, Claire, and your sister. What you both do just blows my mind. Thank you so much for everything. And I'm going to pop up and see you next week.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you. Rehan.
I loved every course I took with Bickett McElroy. I took coaching courses from different schools. Every school is different and special in its way, but Bickett McElroy spoke to me in the way that we used creative tools, whether in coaching, as Lawrence said, team coaching was really special. Also, the last course I took with them was Lego Serious Play, and it was really amazing. Supervision was one of the training that I loved so much. What else? What I can say about Bickett McElroy? I love working with Bickett McElroy, and I proudly completed level 3 with them. It was amazing, and always when they have new courses, I feel like, oh yeah, I'm in. So thank you very much, Dr. Claire, and I second everything that Lawrence said, and looking forward to more training courses. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Lego Serious Play, we're getting so many more organizations asking us to work with them in creative ways, including Lego. Thinking with your hands is one of the things we talk about. And when Rehan talks about level 3, that's the top level, ICF level 3. She's on her journey to MCC Master Certified Coach. So Mabruk, well done, Rehan, as well. Anyone else like to share? Pleasure, Zaina. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And so I just have one of two more slides. We will also, in the next few weeks, be inviting you to practice. We'll be doing a live coaching demonstration with a leader so you can see how it really works. This will be in your slides as well. You can even use these questions as a stimulus to coach someone. Even if you've not had any coach training, just working through this, it's an approach called time to think, to slow things down, to really process, deepen understanding. It can help things speed up, gain clarity, and really help people make the right decisions. So we've put that in the slide deck as well. We are a community. It's actually 33,000 now followers on LinkedIn. And we have a number of community cafes, always one a month. And the next one is the fantastic Jonathan Passmore, who is connected with Ezra, one of the coaching platforms, and he's adjunct lecturer with Henley Business School. He's been there for at least 20 years, and he'll be talking about AI in coaching. So date for your diary. And I invite you to consider this. From what we've shared today, what do you commit to? What are you going to action? One of the things in coaching is accountability. And when will you do that by? And what impact will that create for you, your people, your organization, clients, the field you work in, the country you live in, even existentially for our world? And who or what can help you to achieve that actionable task? It can be useful to have an accountability buddy to check in with you every so often that you're moving still in the right direction. Just like the trainer in the gym, you know, that type of coach working alongside you. Don't you just run that extra kilometer when you've got a coach next to you? And of course, it's the same when leaders in organizations coach too. One of my favorite quotes, the brilliant coach brings out the brilliance in others. We've been so privileged to work with such amazing organizations, Citi, Lego, Aramco, Qatar Financial Center, Qatar Foundation, and thank you so much for your time today. I hope you found the content useful. Any questions? Pleasure, Yusuf.
Claire,
Appreciate your time.
can I add something? Can I ask you
Absolutely.
something?
Sure.
Yeah, perfect. It was really great to hear. It is my master thesis now, including well-being and coaching, and I work on it. And it is so useful for me to listen to. Obviously, you have great organizational culture in your own company, and I'm interested about your mindset as a manager, as leader there. What helps you to integrate coaching culture in your company?
Tatiana, it broke up a slight bit. Did you say what helped us to integrate a coaching culture?
Yes, what kind of mindset?
Okay, so every single person in our organization has had coach training, even if it's just the foundations. And we feel that's really important. And so many people that we work with are at least PCC or above. So in that way, they've experienced coaching, being coached, and also coaching. I think also, I love the way we work together. We have a number of people delivering on each program so that you also, as clients, get a different experience and different perspectives. And we get together often to, you know, rejig the content, make it bespoke for certain organizations. And I think that constant communication and the constant, you know, playing with ideas, even WhatsApp, that type of communication, you know, real time, has helped us to grow together. And then, of course, when we develop a new program, we always invite people we work with, would you like to attend? So we feel strongly that we grow together and we grow our people as well as our clients. I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Thank you, Claire.
Any other questions? And so, thank you so much. If there's any questions you think of down the line, I'm always happy to jump online and have a chat. We'll send you the slides, we'll send you the links I've mentioned. Have a wonderful week ahead and enjoy your coaching.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.